And we start with our breaking news story this hour. Anonymous Israeli officials have confirmed the country has bombed Syria. They say Israeli warplanes struck a shipment of advanced missiles heading for Lebanon. It's the second such airstrike in less than 5 months. RT's Middle East correspondent Paul Aslier has the latest from Israel now.
The official is speaking on condition of being anonymous because he is not authorized to speak about a secret Israeli military operation. We at RT have been in touch with the Israeli Foreign Ministry, but as of yet they are not prepared to publicly confirm, at least not to us, that such a strike indeed was carried out by the Israelis. What is interesting is that the strike happened late Thursday into the early hours of Friday morning, and at that same time the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu called for a late-night emergency cabinet meeting. Now, we don't have information as to what was exactly the purpose or the goal of that meeting, but it certainly does raise eyebrows. The Lebanese are complaining that Israel has violated Lebanese airspace. In fact, Israel does do this on numerous occasions and has been doing it recently with quite a bit of consistency. Israel in the past has said that it will pull out all the stops to make sure that there is no transfer of weapons to Hezbollah. Of course, the Israeli concern is that Hezbollah would use any kind of weapons against the Jewish state. The second time this year that Israel has carried out a strike inside Syria. You remember the first was back in January when Israeli fighter jets targeted a sophisticated convoy of anti-aircraft missiles that Israel believed were on their way to Hezbollah. Israel and Syria share a common border. You have the disputed Golan Heights, which Israel occupied from Syria back in 1967. And in recent weeks, we've witnessed a flare-up in violence and in tensions along that border.
There's been no official comment from Damascus on the Israeli bombing run, which is said to have taken place on Thursday night. And Syrian journalist Abdallah Mawazini says it's too early to make conclusions based on unconfirmed statements by anonymous Israeli sources.
It has been more than 48 hours from Thursday till Saturday. Such a big attack should have been known. The target should have been destroyed. Everybody could have talked about it. Up till now, we have no information. And the government side, according to our contacts, did not mention anything about it because there is no official or there is nothing happening on the ground to confirm that there is an attack or not. So there are a lot of missing points. There are contradictions somewhere. It's a kind of propaganda to suggest that they are there, to suggest that Israel is attacking something. Up till now, there's no confirmed news. There's nothing on our side.
And Colin Hallinan, contributing editor for the US think tank Foreign Policy in Focus, believes it's unlikely the embattled Syrian government would have risked provoking an Israeli attack.
I think the idea that the Syrian government would be shipping arms to Hezbollah in the midst of a civil war to be a very dubious kind of project. I don't see what the logic of that is. I think the Israelis are intervening at this point, and the U.S. is thinking of intervening because I don't think things are going exactly the way that the insurgency wants them to go. The Israelis can pretty much strike as they will in Syria. What the effect of that is on the wider Arab world, I think, is the key question here. And the Israelis may find that while they're able to basically strike at will against Syria, that also means that it places a very different view, so to speak, of the civil war in Syria. And I think at this point the Syrians are not going to do anything physically, but I think they are going to say politically that the Israelis are attempting to overthrow the Assad government, and therefore anybody who supports the overthrow of the Assad government is in alignment with Tel Aviv. And that may be a pretty hard sell for Israel.